Hey, Hellraiser, don't blink, don't move, don't whisper, don't even breathe.
On video cassette.
What's up, Hellraiser? Welcome back to yet again another movie review, and we is at one of my all-time favorite action, thriller, and adventure of all time. This is the movie that I grew up watching through my entire fucking childhood and my teenagehood, my adulthood. I love this movie all across the board. But before I tell you all the reasons why I love this movie so much, let me give you a little bit of plot of what this movie is about. This movie tells a story about four best friends right here in Chicago looking to catch a fight, and something goes horribly wrong when they witness murder. Or should I say, they saw something they should have never saw. And from there on out, it's basically become a fucking fight for their life. So this is one of them films that I saw at a very young age, and I've always loved this movie. It was something about this movie that just kept me coming back. And I used to ask my family so many times, what's the name of that movie? What's the name of that movie? What's the name of this movie? What's the name of the movie? And they say Judgment Night, Judgment Night. And I've always forgot the name, and as I got older, I've always wondered, what the fuck was that movie? And I never forgot it ever since then. So, to kick things off with my first pro will honestly have to be the lighting. And basically the atmosphere with the lighting. I love the lighting for this film, especially at night, bruh. This movie looked fucking phenomenal at night. If you've never seen this movie, we about to talk a lot of spoilers. But bruh, this movie, like the lighting for this film, the one thing that I always remember about this film is that the lighting always stands out. Every fucking time I watch this movie, I've always kept my eyes being so amazed with the lighting of this entire film. I just love the lighting in this film. Another pro for me would have to be the fact that the soundtrack of this film actually allow you to just transport back to the 90s. I love this soundtrack for this film. It's not any of my favorites, but it really gets this movie going, because the moment this movie come on, it has a good ass soundtrack that gets your fucking head going. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know when you hear that good beat, it gets your fucking head going. This movie has a lot of those moments. It even has the moment where like the beat is very fast and very intense, which we'll get back to just a second. But it's so intense, very intimidating, and the moment you hear that, it really ups the intensity for this entire fucking film. This soundtrack really gets this movie going at a high and low pace. Another pro for me would have to be the fact that how intense this movie is when it comes down to getting it going. Because the moment that this movie starts, it start off pretty slow. It start out very simple. You have Emilio Estevez talking to his wife about his boys' night out, you know what I'm saying, to go hang out with his guy friends. And then you like, okay, just move your ass, just get to it. And as soon as it get going, it's like full solid. It doesn't fucking stop for a single second. So once you see what's going on, it keeps going. And that's one thing I've always loved about this movie. It start off slow and fucking run, and it don't stop until it gets to the last climax of this film. Another pro for me would have to be Dennis Lowry or something. You know, the guy from Rescue Me. Let's talk about his performance. Another thing about this film that used to always creep me out was Dennis' performance. This is by far his greatest, if not his best performance I've ever seen him give. This guy is fucking phenomenal in this movie. He is intimidating. He has this little slow, methodical thing with his voice. He ain't yelling, he ain't screaming, he's just talking. And everything that comes out his mouth serves a purpose, for what's going on for the situation. There's so many times where you'll be sitting on the edge of your seat like, because his performance is just jaw-dropping. And not to mention the look that he provides for the character just make it even more intimidating. This look like the type of guy you don't want to fuck around and find out what he capable of, because just know that his performance was just that damn good. Don't fuck around and find out when it comes down to his performance in this movie. Go along with that, this is a very underrated performance by him. I don't understand why he didn't get no recognition for his performance in this movie, cause it's just that damn good. The fact that he get no credit for it just kind of bugged the fuck out of me a little bit, you know. And another pro for me would have to be our main four leads, Emilio Estevez, who I watched him throughout my entire childhood, especially The Mighty Ducks being one of the biggest movies I've ever seen him in. Then you got Cuban Gooding Jr., I grew up watching him. Then you got Stephen Dolph or something. Then you have Jeremy Piven. I like all four of these main leads, okay? I love all four of them. Emilio represents the father, you know, he's basically the lead of this group. We'll get back to him in just a second. Then you got Cuban Gooding Jr., who represents the tough guy. He's the one that throws himself into danger to protect his friend. There's so many times where he will be one step ahead. As soon as he sees that his friend is in danger, he's the first motherfucker to jump in the front every time. Then you got Steven. He's basically like the troublemaker. He is Emilio Estevez's character's brother. He's basically the troublemaker. He starts shit but don't really back none of that shit up because he's just that fucking terrible. But the thing about his character though is that you kind of understand his character's point of being a troublemaker. So his brother tries his best to guide him down the right path, and he just continues to do terrible shit. And you understand why. He doesn't want his brother to treat him like he's the dad in the situation. He tries to tell him, don't do this, and he always has some foul shit to say to his brother. And then you got Jeremy, who's basically the rich guy who tries to basically con his way into anything. He tried to buy his way into anything, and that shit backfired on him when it came down to Dennis in the film. His character, he basically tried to con him. And so Dennis started laughing and shit, and you go like, okay, yeah, we got a deal. And he pushed him off the fucking building, and then he fought. Cuban Gooding Jr. come in and got to shooting at him, and it was just a bunch of chaotic things. So how the fuck you gonna try to con a con artist? Like, dude, that shit doesn't work like that. So we go back to Emilio Estevez's character. His character is really the only one that you kind of feel sympathy for. You kind of want to get out of this situation that he's in, because earlier in the film it showed his wife, it showed his daughter, and so he's really the only one that you're rooting for when it comes down to this entire situation. The best thing about his character is that the further the movie goes, you start to see his character arc. You start to see him bring out some of that stuff that Cuban Gooding Jr. character was telling him to do. Fucking express yourself. Help us get out of this situation that we in. You's a badass just like I am. So bust out of your fucking bubble. And so as the movie progresses, you start to see more of his character's arc. And that's what I love about this fucking film. Because you see character's arc for every single one of these characters. It's not just one character. Another pro for me would be the fact that this movie is the heart and soul of the 90s. This is what I've been looking for to review for you. And this is going to be in my playlist called Hidden Gem, okay? This is one of those films where not too many people know about, but the people who do know about it appreciate this film just as much as I do. But like I said before, I said again, this film is the heart and soul of the fucking 90s. It came out in 1993. I was born in 1992. This movie is the heart and soul of that decade. The pro for me would be the fact that I love that this film has a lot of explosion and a lot of action, but the action speaks, how do I put it? Like, the words speak louder than action, but the little bit of explosion and shit that is there, it's so for purpose. It isn't like the shit that Michael Bay or J.J. Abrams would do, just explosion just for the sake of explosion. In this film, the explosion has a purpose. It ain't just some shit just blowing up just to be blowing up just to blow your fucking mind. This movie serves a purpose to why the fucking RV blew up. It serves a fucking purpose. My final con will have to be the fact that this movie is instant classic. Period. This is a fucking straight up instant classic. The moment I saw this movie when I was younger, it immediately became one of my favorites and my go-to every single time. My overall thought is that Judgment Night is just one of them films, like I said before, I said again. I started at a very young age and I appreciate it. All these years later, still love this movie to death. I've been trying to get a lot of my friends to watch this movie. If you haven't seen Judgment Night, I highly recommend this movie. It's one of my all-time favorites. That's going to wrap up today's Pacific review. If you want to get in touch with your boy, remember, social media link will always be in the description down below. But just before I let you go, how about you consider dropping a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that fucking bell notification so that when I drop another lit video for the channel, y'all be the first ones to get it. And I hope to catch you Hellraisers in my next video. Peace.